Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to the Imagine Acre Wood. I'm out here feeding the yaks today on a beautiful North Idaho fall morning. We still got snow on the ground, but it's looking like it's going to thaw. We got a little bit of rain last night and this morning, and it's really slushy snow right now. So we'll see if it all thaws out. I'm not going to bother plowing it right now because it's just it would just make a mess. So right now we'll just hope it thaws. And yeah, so just out here with the yaks. Today what we're going to do is we're going to show you around a little bit how we do our morning chores here, maybe get a few other things. We'll see how the day goes, and just overall just show you what we do today. If you guys will, please hit that like button for me, hit that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber, and hit that notification bell. Anyways, let's get after it, guys. Alright guys, so I'm out here just getting the yaks fed for the morning feeding. I've got one pile going here. We'll get a second pile going over there, so they have they're able to spread out due to the pecking order and everybody gets fed. I don't know if you can see, guys, on our two younger females on Bangs there, and also actually on the back here you can see on Cheeks and on Marmalade, their hair's a little thin in the rear on their hips, and so I was a little bit concerned about that because that just kind of showed up as soon as the snow hit. But what I think's happened is when the snow and the rain hit, it causes their wool to clump up. Okay, and so in that clumping, what it does is it strips any of the loose follicles into clumps that hang down below, and then they get this kind of like thick mat on them. Now, the reason those are they have less hair on the hips there, some bald spots there, after talking to my friend, is because Droopy's likely been trying to ride them pretty hard lately. So Marmalade and Cheeks would be at about the time where you know, babies have weaned and they're ready to breed again for next year. So also I believe our smaller females, our youngest females, I believe they're at the age now where they can breed as well. They're at the age that Marmalade and Cheeks were last year when they bred. So I think what happened is getting Miss K here sent Droopy into a little bit of a I don't know, a testosterone rage or something like that. Testosterone induced rage. So he's been running through here on them pretty hard lately. Other than that, guys, they're all healthy, fat. You can see they're all being fed. Right now we're currently feeding them a Timothy alfalfa mix. And so they'll get fed this through the winter. This is the paddock that they're going to be in, guys, through winter. A lot of people have asked me if we plan to expand this, and yes, we do. That's why we have all the timber down beyond this pasture here, or this paddock here. Eventually, this paddock will just be for raising bottle babies. So the future will just be bottle babies for this paddock. We plan to have at least 2 more large paddocks down in that section of the little valley that we have here. And we already cleared timber for that, so we'll get rid of slash piles in the spring, and what we'll do is we'll come out there and we'll put posts and wire in like we have here, and get the yaks moved down to start clearing the underbrush of the pasture like they did this. This was all overgrowth like that. And you guys can see there, get a good look there of the hips there of Cheeks there. So that's Droopy going for a ride. So Everywhere else they're thickened out and look really healthy, their coats. So yeah, poor girls. Hopefully he'll leave them alone soon. Alright guys, so this is Mary and Trixie, and Mary and Trixie are our milking goats. We've actually let them go out of milk, and we actually need to kid them very soon here. And then we'll have goats in the spring, and then we can milk them again through the rest of next year. When we got them, they had, well, especially Trixie, had a little bit of some deficiency and some worms issues, so we decided to let her go out of milk a little bit early and keep her that way. Now she's healthy. Her eyes, she won't let me get her eyelids right now, but both of their eyelids are really pink and healthy, and so they're going to be ready to breed and go again for next year. So right now we're just feeding them the Timothy alfalfa mix hay, and sometimes they get chaff hay as well. Depends if we can find it on sale or not. Besides that, when we are milking, then they get a grain feed from Woods, a local feed store here. An all-purpose dairy grain is what they get when they are in milk. But right now, they're just getting the Timothy alfalfa mix hay. All right, guys. So we just fed the pigs also some Timothy alfalfa hay mix. What we're doing with the pigs is we're doing every other feeding hay. So we're alternating from hay to the Woods all-purpose grower, hog and sow grower that we get at Woods as well. I don't have that with me because we're feeding hay today. If I remember on the way down, I'll show you that grain. I've showed it in other videos as well. But so today they're getting Timothy alfalfa mix. My understanding is the hay is good for them in the winter. It really helps warm their guts up and keep them warm and keep those guts working good. So we've got that every other day. On the other days, we're feeding the Woods all-purpose. It's a general purpose hog feeder. So, hi Bebop. Hi Bebop. Hi there. Hi there. We're gonna have to separate Nutella there soon. She's getting ready to pop here pretty quick. And to make sure we got to pop some holes in the ice for the yak stock tank. We got to pop some holes in the ice for the goats. We've got to get the chickens and the pigs fresh water. So that's what we're going to do now. For the chickens and the pigs, we keep them in small waters, and we feed we do them generally once or twice a day, depending on how they need it. Right now it's usually only about once a day because they're not drinking it all. But we don't want to give them too much water, because what they'll do is they'll wallow in it and then they'll freeze. So it's a good idea to just give them enough water. If I had some like gravity fed waterers, that would be better. That would prevent them from like spillage and stuff like that, but I don't have that. I just have the rubber type stock feeders down there that I'm using for water for them. So what we do is we go down and we fill those up for them, and when they're empty, then we'll refill them later in the night if they're empty. If they've still got water, then we'll skip the watering. But we definitely, with the temperatures here, don't want them getting overly wet, because that's how they freeze at night, is if they're wet. So yeah, right now we've got the chickens out. They're all kind of free ranging right now a little bit in the snow. I'm gonna eventually here real soon lock them back up, but right now they were in the middle of a molt. They weren't laying well, so I figured what we'll do is we'll let them out of the coop, let them free range a little bit, and before the real snow comes in. When the snow starts getting deep, they'll be in there all the time, and actually what they'll do is they'll stop coming out as much. They'll all kind of roost out there on that on the ramp that we have going in there, and they'll just all kind of hang out in the doorway there a little bit more once it starts to get really snowy. So right now you can see they're still out wandering about quite a bit, but the snow's not too deep yet. to the house right now, and this is our black water line going into the septic, and then we've got a gray water line coming from the kitchen, and then a gray water line coming from the bathroom, and a gray water line coming from the tub. So what I'm under here doing is I was actually disconnecting this section here because we got a laundry sink, a big basin sink, like the laundry style basin sinks for the bathroom. What was in there was kind of a decorative bathroom type sink, and it just wasn't functional for us. We needed a more functional sink. So we've also got baby coming and things like that, and Lisa wanted a more functional sink. So what I'm doing is I'm hooking up the laundry sink in the bathroom, and I went to pull this out, and I discovered that this long lateral line was already starting to freeze a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and replace this. Last year what happened, and you can go back and find our video for that. I'll try and put a link in the description down below, but last year in the middle of winter when it got really cold, we actually had a section of the pipes totally freeze solid on us, and that's because it's such a shallow run. This was not run correctly, and so what I'm going to do here is, now that I've discovered that, I'm just going to get ahead of it right now. We need to go to Home Depot and get some things anyways to connect that laundry sink. So sorry about that, guys, my battery died. Anyways, yeah, we needed to go into Home Depot today anyways to get the replacement fixtures for the A tank that we showed you in yesterday's video for our inside storage. So we got to go get those anyways. We got to get a few additional items that I didn't have around the house for plumbing in the laundry sink, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to fix those lines of those gray water lines and the black water line for the septic, for the lines that go down to the septic. We're just going to rerun those. We're not going to run any risk this winter of having all of that start to gurgle up on us, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing tomorrow's project, because as you guys know, the sun goes down very early here, so I like to get my shopping done in the evening time so I don't waste the day doing chores around here with driving and doing errands in town. So I mean, it gets dark at 4:30. All the stores are still open for several hours, so I can go into town, get shopping done. Usually the traffic is a lot less this time of year in town, so I can go in, get out, and come home, and then I can do what I need to do tomorrow with that plumbing. So yeah, look for that in tomorrow or the next day's video. I'll have that out real soon for you guys. So I put some water in there last night. Can you guys see in there? It's like a slush. It's frozen, but it's kind of like a slush. So anyways, I expect at some point this is probably going to freeze. The sidewalls, you can hear that, are starting to get, I can kick it and get it to break, but right there is where it's kind of solid ice. It's still not quite, you know, I mean, it's soliding up a little bit, but there's a big water pocket in there. And on days when we have sun, it actually does get warm. I can open that up and I can feel warmth coming out of the tank. So, but we've just had some early frigid out here already, guys. Come out here and show you guys the orchard a little bit. All the rock work is covered up. That is where we did our giveaway video, guys. The cabin is right there, and that is where we shot our giveaway video. And just as I was turning over here, guys, I don't know if I caught that in the camera, but there was a deer down there that just went over the ridge there. So I don't know if I caught it originally. We'll see. We'll have to back check the video, but if not, the deer just went over the ridge there. So this, guys, here is where I took down a lot of timber last year. if you can see down over there, that's going to be our first expansion to the yak pasture, is down into that kind of valley area that goes down there. So yeah, kind of a cool area here, guys. Now, I know if some of you longtime subscribers have been following us, I mentioned in previous videos that we had originally planned to do an addition to this cabin, and our builder fell through on that. Well, in hindsight, we're kind of happy that that happened now at this point, because we've decided that we kind of want to do something different. Rather than make that cabin bigger, in this county, we have the ability, because of that size of that cabin, to actually start fresh and build a brand new larger cabin. So what we're going to do is we're going to build fresh. It's probably going to be a 5-year project, but it's not going to be a traditional building, guys. It's not going to be a traditional stick and frame building. It's not going to be a traditional log cabin. It's not going to be a traditional building that you normally see up here. What we're going to build, which is really cool, and I've had this dream for about 2 decades, since I was about 15 years old, and I discovered these things. It actually made me want to become an architect, and then I realized how much school you had to go to become an architect and how much math you needed to know. So that dream fell through, like being an astronaut. But it made me want to be one so bad when I saw these. And what they are called earthships. And basically what you do is it's a passive solar building, and we know the passive solar works up here, guys. We experience it when we have sun in our little cabin that has hardly any insulation. We can get that cabin pretty, I mean, we have to turn the stove off when the sun's out. We can't run the stove during the day in the middle of winter when the sun's out. So it just gets too hot. So what we want to do is build one of these earthships. They're a passive solar home that is built partially submerged into the earth. So the front portion of the house is a passive solar greenhouse that faces south and collects all that passive solar. And then the back of the house is actually made of earth walls that you make by pounding dirt into tires to make earth blocks, big giant free stones, or building blocks basically. And you harness the stable temperature of the earth that way from the back of the house. In the summertime, you can actually air condition the house through tubes that come through the earth on the backside portion of the house, through basically opening vents in the top of the greenhouse section. It causes I guess is it a convection effect? I don't know what the term is there. I think it's convection, where it sucks cold air from the earth and vents it out through that greenhouse ceiling. So I've wanted to own one of these for as long as I can remember. It's been a dream of mine, and out here I think we can achieve it pretty well. So I guess step one is going to be, if you guys are local and you know where I can get tires. We're looking for free tires, guys, and we're looking for free glass bottles. So if you know anyone local, or you're local and you have lots of those on hand, I'd love to come get them from you. Anyways, so that's the future plan. That's probably a 5-year build, guys, because it's very labor intensive. I want to do any timber that we use, I want to be timber from this property. So we're going to have to take down some large timbers this winter is what we'll plan. We'll prepare to take those down and get those seasoned and ready to go. And then we need to start finding a spot here on the homestead. Now, I kind of like the idea of coming down here on this little ridge here and building, but we might want to use the cabin, the homestead cabin, as a rental opportunity in the future, and that might be a little too close. So we've still got a lot of exploring to do over on the other side of the property. The only problem with over there, again, is it's so dense. It's hard for me to get a vision of what something would look like when it's cleared. I've got a big clearing here that I can already kind of envision things. So but we'll see. There's an opportunity over on that ridge over there that I think I want to look at as well and explore a little further, but we'd have to put an access road up there as well. So we'll see how that goes, but again, it's going to be a long-term project. We want to do it entirely with free recycled materials if we can, or as close to everything as possible from here or free and salvage. So there will be some things that we'll have to splurge on, that we won't be able to, concretes and certain things like that, certain structural things. But other than that, we should be able to get most of the building materials. You know, we want to salvage the windows and things like that. We should be able to get most of that free or very cheaply. So yeah, guys, that's the pile that I split last night when the sun was going down at the end of yesterday's video. So I wanted to show you what I was able to split. I've got a little bit more over here left to split, and then I'm gonna actually go down the road there where I have the other 2/3 of that timber that we took down the other day, and I'm gonna haul that up here, and we'll get to splitting that tonight too. So that's probably going to be the end of the video today, guys. We're going to head into town here after dark and go get those plumbing supplies, so we'll be able to bring you the updates on the inside storage tanks and the drain plumbing. We'll be able to bring you all of that tomorrow, hopefully, after we get the fixtures in town. So anyways, guys, hope you like this video. Please subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Hit that notification bell so we can bring you future content, and leave us a comment, guys. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.